Hello and welcome, I'm Thomas Porteous and you're watching NewsX World. In light of the escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, Indian Home Minister Amit Shah is set to chair a meeting with the Director Generals of the BSF, CISF and Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, along with the Union Home Secretary and the Director of the Intelligence Bureau, all to review the security along the India-Pakistan border and at airports across the country, according to sources. The RSS, the parent organisation of the BJP and several other organisations, have issued a statement. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has praised the central government and the armed forces for their decisive action, Operation Sindoor, against Pakistan-sponsored terrorists and their supporting ecosystem in response to the cowardly attack on unarmed tourists in Pahalgam. He also condemned the Pakistani Army's attacks on religious places and civilian areas along the India-Pakistan border, expressing his heartfelt condolences to the victims' families in these barbaric, inhumane attacks. India's capital Delhi remains operational as airport authorities confirm normal operations, despite some flights being impacted due to changing airspace conditions and heightened security. In response to escalating tensions between India and Pakistan, the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security has implemented enhanced security measures. The Indian Army confirms that Pakistani troops launched coordinated drone and munitions attacks along the western border during the night of May the 8th and May the 9th. Multiple ceasefire violations took place along the LOC. The Indian Army responded with force and intercepted the threats promptly. Pakistan deployed swarm drones in a coordinated strike attempt across the LOC and border areas. The India's Army's air defence destroyed over 50 drones in a major operation covering Udhampur, Samba, Jammu and Angkor. We are now joined by our guest to discuss this further. Air Vice Marshal Kapil Kak, former Indian Air Force officer. Thank you very much for joining us, Air Vice Marshal Kak. I want to first talk about this meeting that's reportedly going to happen in regards to the country's airports, the rest of the country's security. Obviously, the region that this conflict and the dangerous region of this conflict is now compact right now, but is there any risk that it could have broader implications across the country? Could we see possible closures of airports, whether that's Bombay, whether that's Delhi, the capital, or Bangalore? How much can this conflict affect the lives of people, not just in the Jammu and Kashmir region?
Well, it depends a lot on what is termed NSEM, next steps in escalation management. It is not in the interests of both India and Pakistan to slide into a regular, conventional, though limited, India-Pakistan war of the kind which was done last in 1971. I think the leadership on both sides is aware of it. But unfortunately, despite bilateral relations between the two countries being in cold storage for nearly 6 years, the first escalation was by Pakistan. And that was what you rightly described as the cowardly attack on tourists in Baisaran Meadow in Pahalgam. And that started this whole escalation ladder in which each side has taken a couple of steps. And we are now at a position, a very crucial point in the dynamics of the last 57 or 58 hours since our attacks on the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan took place. So your question about can this escalate? Of course it can. Theoretically, that can happen. Can we have 1971 war-style closure of airports, limitations on travel, very severe restrictions on flights? That can also happen. But all this is dependent on how Pakistan at this stage manages to somewhat tone down the temperature of the conflict. This escalation element is currently in the hands of Pakistan after they targeted our air bases and military installations, which was a radical upward steps in the escalation ladder, to which India has responded, as the news report suggests, through the attack on Karachi port. So it's now for both sides to introspect, in many ways reflect, and take a deep breath and see how they take the next step forward, because there's the international community. There is also repercussions on both sides. And I'd like to end this part of my initial comments by saying that it's not in the interest of either India or Pakistan to get into that conflict, which I said earlier, 71 style conflict. And if you look at certain elements of, it may seem very esoteric, but certain elements of India's grand strategy is war prevention is the primary element of the grand strategy, because India's main objective strategically is socio-economic development of its people, removal of poverty, and certain levels of technological absorption and renovation, innovation.
Yes, thank you. And we're also, I would like to introduce another guest, Patrick Lancaster, who's a war reporter